Okay, so here we go to answer some questions underneath the bonnet. And one of the questions was there rust repair here? And that's definitely not the case. Actually, what happened was when this car was in the body shop, long story, but the best we know it, the body shop owner passed away, and there were bonnet related parts that were lost, disappeared, as happens sometimes. So what we did was we put these parts together here, partly because this car is being sold on bat, no reserve. And rather than have lots of extra parts to complicate the transport, we wanted to have them on the car, and that would simplify the transport. I mean, what you see here is a rolling chassis right now, and so this is ready to load on somebody's trailer for the buyer, in addition to the parts, all the other parts that are in the U-Haul, which I'll include in the photo or video to show you. You've seen the pictures of the parts, but you haven't seen the picture of them, how much they fill up the U-Haul, to give you an idea for how much you're going to have to be transporting or carrying or putting in the back of a Suburban or whatever. Anyway, so the story on this is that everything you see here, these are all new parts. And then we assembled them, again, so that it could be transported and also to show you what we have. But anything else that needs to be added here is going to be, is just bolt on. There's no cutting of these parts. This is a brand new part here. This is brand new here. And the fenders, the outer fenders, they're brand new. In fact, the outer fenders, we went ahead and left the labels on them. Those are the best you can get. Those are Martin Roby. So you can see right there is the where we left the labels on both fenders. And then there's the center section, which actually this was sourced by Welsh, or from Welsh. Probably was made by Martin Roby in the first place anyway, and then there's the other Martin Roby. And then this is a separate part here. The main body part that's missing is the lower nose, and that is definitely just a bolt-on. Gets bolted on. You can see all the holes for bolting it on down in here. I mean, I guess it could be welded on, but every indication is in terms of down here and just at all angles and everything, is that there are places where that would be bolted into place. And so then this was just put on, these were just put on to accommodate, we just makeshifted these so that the bonnet can be open and closed to be able to show as part of the bat listing under the bonnet, and then what it looks like when the bonnet is down and in place, just to be able to show you what we have. But obviously, when someone finishes the restoration, they're going to source that part down there. Maybe they can source a used one and save some money. I did see a combination of this panel and then the lower nose from Martin Roby for 999 pounds. But this panel itself is like a $600 panel. So anyway, hopefully you get the lower nose section from some source, used or new, relatively inexpensively. So that should give you an idea, and hopefully that explains what the process was, how we got to where we are today. I wanted to add in, so effectively you could call this kind of like a mock-up, and Michael just pointed out that to be able to do this, there were no new holes made or anything. I mean, the bonnet is attached the proper way here, and we just used existing holes to go ahead and put these shocks on to be able to have this usability for showing it, transporting it, and all. So we didn't make any modifications or something that would have to be undone as part of the finish of the restoration of the car. We were asked to show it from the front, and here's straight from the front. You were saying there's no evidence of any collision history in terms of the frame areas?
Yeah, I don't see any post-factory welds or bends on the tubing.
So the one panel we've been discussing, of course, goes right underneath here. I guess you can see where it would bolt in there.
Yeah, it's got the provisions under here, the bolts.
Yeah, the holes for the bolts. Yep. Yeah, and and that's not the only thing it's missing. I mean, obviously in this case, or in this picture, we don't see the radiator, of course, but in terms of the bonnet, it's also missing, as I pointed out in the description, inner fender pieces. Some of which, a little bit of which I think comes with the car, was pictured in some of the pictures. I think, yeah. But so that's definitely something that will need to be resourced. Is to so it's besides this panel here, and obviously the lights, is the some inner fender pieces. We've got, I think, one or two that were in the parts that we photographed. I guess that covers it, right? We're going to lift up the bonnet right now. And you can see that goes up really easily and doesn't hit down on the ground. So if someone is buying it overseas or something, it has to go through customs and they have to look at the chassis number plate, for instance, have to open up the bonnet. We wanted to show that that is easy enough. Let's see what else about the body. There's a little ding, a little impression right here. So you probably want to straighten that a little bit. And then the top surface of the paint has some, yeah, you can see the dots right there. So I don't know whether it needs to be, polished well or what, but we do have the correct paint code, so you won't have any problem being able to match this paint and buying paint for any paint work that you want to do on the car.